Chris, this is a whole new experience for you doing this world tour and just being around with all this press over here. What moment stood out to you the most?
I would probably say in Macau, meeting Manny for the first time. I think that was probably the most important moment of this whole trip. Looking him in his eye as a man, and not seeing him on TV and seeing him in person. I think that was really important for me in my mental preparations for this fight, my visualization exercises, for me to see the man who it is that I'll be fighting.
So you weren't intimidated at all after you did that then?
No, not at all. Not at all. It just made it that much more real. You know, the eyes tell a lot, you know, and I saw fire in Manny's eyes, and, you know, that makes me realize that he knows this is a real fight. Style-wise,
what do you want to show Manny the night of the fight, and what do you feel is the one thing he's not going to expect from you?
How much I'm going to be in his face. How much he's going to have to deal with me for 12 rounds. Before the Ruslan fight, people asked me, how are you going to deal with that guy for 12 rounds? He's a monster. I switched it right around. How is he going to deal with me? I met him in his corner almost every round. You know, I'm a boxer, but I'm an aggressive boxer. I'm in your face and I throw a lot of punches. So I think Manny is going to be, is used to overwhelming guys, but he may feel a little overwhelmed himself.
Now, what would you say to the fan that says, well, Manny's always done well when guys come forward to him? He's always either knocked those guys out or really punished them.
He's had guys who came in the front door, not guys who are using angles, guys who are pushing and pulling. I can be an aggressive boxer without coming straight at you. There's so many angles in there. You know, there's 360 degrees. You know, and it's a square ring, but it's a circle. You know, so moving around that ring, you got so many angles that you can cut. So I can be aggressive and push forward without necessarily walking in the front door and getting tattooed like most of his recent opponents have.
You've obviously got a height and you've got a reach advantage. How are you going to utilize that in the ring? And on top of that, with Manny's speed.
Well, you know, what beats speed is a jab. You know, timing beats speed, and I'm going to use my long jab. I'm going to use my efficient footwork and the angles in the ring to you know, offset his offbeat rhythm and to really just set the tone.
Chris, you had the biggest win in your career against Ruslan Provodnikov. You were down twice. Now you're fighting Manny Pacquiao, a legend. Talk to us about that feeling.
You know, this is where every young fighter wants to be. You know, when you're thinking about, you know, where you're going to be and what you want to do, these are the fights that you want. You want to be a world champion. All right, well, I did that. Well, I want more. I want to fight the best now. You know, so you don't get much better than Manny Pacquiao. So this is where we're at. And this is what being a young champion's about.
And how are you able to make that transition from kickboxing to boxing?
Tell you the truth, I think I'm still transitioning. You know, this is my 20th boxing fight, not my 20th pro boxing fight. Literally, my first boxing fight was my pro debut. So I've been learning on the job. That's why I travel so much for my training camps, and I've been in many different camps and worked with a lot of great champions, trying to pick up things along the way from coaches, fighters, anything that I could.
You ever play any basketball?
No, I never played any basketball.
You're much taller than him.
Yeah. I'm much taller than him. He's not a very big guy at all, but yeah, I mean, it's something that, you know, I got.
Besides boxing, what other sports you play? Do you cycle at all, or anything else that you do in your off time just to stay in shape, to stay physically fit?
I still kickbox a little bit. I don't kick anyone, but I'll kick pads and bags and stuff. I do enjoy that. It's a great workout. Swimming, running, any kind of endurance sport. Triathlons would definitely be something I'd be interested in once I'm done fighting.
If you win this fight, do you want Mayweather next?
If I win this fight, I want to see what the landscape of boxing is, because it changes. You know, he's got to get past my boy Maidana first. You know, so we got to see what the landscape of boxing is after that fight. It's like the Wild Wild West out here. It changes constantly.
You got a lot of welterweights like that. Kell Brook, you got Timothy Bradley, Keith Thurman.
The 40s have the most talent in the game. I'm in the best weight class in the world. You know, this is where all the most talented, most dangerous, and most exciting fighters are. So it's definitely a very exciting place to be a champion.
Well, those physical attributes that you have, you know, the height, the reach, will that be one of the key elements to your victory over Manny Pacquiao?
Absolutely. I mean, you got a guy who's 5'10½", who's a good athlete, who has good defense, uses a long jab, and understands how to use a ring. That's gonna be a problem for anybody. You know. And on top of that, I'm tough, you know, which everyone had kind of found out.
You definitely showed that, no doubt.
I didn't want to show that. I was trying to keep that under wraps, but it came out, you know, at the most unlikely time.
Chris, how confident are you going to win against Manny Pacquiao?
I'm as confident as I always am. I don't take fights I don't think I'm going to win.
Chris, you seen the killer instinct in him in this
Absolutely.
fight?
He's got fire in his eyes. I saw it day one in the Macau press conference.
He says the killer instinct is back.
Hey, I don't think it ever left, but you know, Manny is a competitor. I don't think Manny's ever let guys off the hook. I know people say that, but you can't say that about a fighter. You don't know what's going on in that ring. You don't know about all the little things that happen. One punch changes a fight. Even if you don't, I'm not talking about knockouts. One punch changes a fight in boxing. It could be the first minute of the first round of a fight that you dominate. That guy could have caught you with a punch that changed the whole night. You know, so you really can't say that he lost his killer instinct. I know he's going for knockouts in all those fights. They just didn't come. You can't force these things.
Chris, I know you did kickboxing for a very, very long time, and I actually realized in college I saw one of your fights, and then when I did research on you, I was like, oh wow, that was Chris. Oh. But just to kind of get away from the normal questions you've probably been hearing this whole tour, what's the one thing you miss most about kickboxing?
Kicking people in their head. I used to love kicking people in the head. It's so easy to knock somebody out with a head kick. So I used to hit everybody in the liver with my left hook and then kick them in the head. And that was I do miss that. I don't miss getting kicked at all.
Guys, last question.
Let me follow up on that, Chris. I've always wondered, him because I know you come from a kickboxing background. Manny's done a double punch inside the ring, but you being a kickboxer as well, do you think you can do a Superman punch or a spinning back fist? And is that even legal to do?
No, nothing with the back of the hand is legal. A jump
you can do
punch,
the Superman.
You could do a Superman. Manny's way too quick for that though.
That would be great.
You know what? I get asked that a lot about bad decisions. This and that. I don't think about those. I don't think about bad decisions. I think if I go out there and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I don't like close fights. I want to win. I want the fights to be dominant.
Chris,